that are killing jobs, that will pull back all those regulations since the 08 and have them audited. If they're killing jobs, they're out of here. We need a president of the United States that not only respects that Constitution, but looks down that Bill of Rights and gets down to number 10, where we talk about the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to it by the states, or reserved for the states respectively, or to the people. That basically says that that federal government was created by the states to be an agent for the states, not the other way around. Let's work together to get our country back. You have my back tonight in this caucus, and I'll promise you one thing. For the next 4 years, I will have your back in Washington, D.C. God bless you. God bless Iowa. May we continue to be the greatest country in the world.
All right, you hear the Texas Governor Rick Perry and Clive outside of Des Moines at the caucus there. Pretty big. It's a pretty big caucus there in Clive. It's a suburb of Des Moines. The map is beginning to fill out a little bit over there. Set the scene, John. Tell us what's going on. What are we learning with about 8% of the precincts reporting?
Be still my heart, Wolf. You know, for the last 3 years, we've used the 2008 map to get a sense of what happened then and what might happen now. Guess what? We're beginning to see. These are the first official votes of the 2012 presidential campaign. 8% of the Iowa vote is counted right now. You just noticed Rick Perry's still speaking at that caucus. That means they've yet to vote. So we've got a long way to go in counting the votes. But what are we seeing right now? Look at the colors and try to remember this for the night. This lighter pink, that's Ron Paul. Purple, Rick Santorum. The dark red is Mitt Romney. The lighter red, Newt Gingrich. Rick Perry, you just heard him. He's the orange. Michelle Bachmann, the yellow. Don't expect much for John Huntsman tonight. He didn't really contest Iowa. He's getting a modest amount of votes, but he's waiting in New Hampshire. Tonight he said when the winner of Iowa gets to New Hampshire, he says nobody will care. We're going to see how that one plays out in the days ahead. But look at this as it starts to fill in. I just want to make a point. This is very early. This is likely to change. But I want you to look at this. I want you to look especially here in the middle of the state. This up here is where you have small, I've circled Des Moines down here. That's, of course, the capital city. It's bigger. Up here is where you have a lot of Tea Party, rural, evangelical voters. Look what you have. A little purple, a little red, a little orange. The reason that could be significant if it holds up is if you go back in time, this is Huckabee country. This is where the Christian conservatives consolidated around one candidate in 2008, and they propelled Mike Huckabee to that victory. If you see in 2012, if you see a variety of colors, if you see a bit of hash in the middle of the map here, that tells you that perhaps Rick Santorum will finish in the top 3, as our entrance poll suggests he will. Let's see when they count the votes. But as we see how this plays out, let's just see. If this is a bunch of different colors in the middle of the night, that suggests to you that you have a split among evangelical voters, at least, Wolf, enough of a split so that one candidate is not propelled to victory by that piece of the electorate. Again, we're at 8% right now. As you just heard Joe Johns talking to the state Republican chairman, Matt Strawn, this state has a pretty good record. Once they get the counting, they tend to do it pretty quickly. Some of the caucus is a little behind as we go, but we're going to watch this fill in tonight. If you see a green county like that, that tells you we've got a tie. Ron Paul, Rick Perry at the moment tied in that county. About 33% of the vote in this one small county, Union County, already counted. So as you see, you go county to county, you get different results. This is a big area for Mitt Romney. Davenport, one of the larger communities in the state. They're counting their vote. Mitt Romney with 30% there. One of the things we'll do throughout the night, this is critical to Mitt Romney. He's getting 30% right now. How did he do? 31%. 4 years ago. It's a way to test to see if he's building, expanding, or just keeping what he got 4 years ago. But Wolf, been waiting a long time to see that. We're underway.
You know, John, there's been an unexpected development. I want to share it with our viewers right now. We thought we had all of the respondents in the entrance polls coming in, but there's been more respondents, more information is coming in, and we're going to share it with you right now. All right, just to recap, as you will remember, in the first wave and the second wave, it was a slight lead for Ron Paul, 24%, over Mitt Romney, 23%. Rick Santorum, not all that far behind with 19%, 13% for Newt Gingrich. Wave 1 and Wave 2. Do we have the bottom 3? No, all right. Here's all 3 waves now. Look at this. A 3-way effective tie. When you add up all of the respondents, wave 1, 2, and 3. Look at this, 24% for Ron Paul, 23% for Mitt Romney, 23% for Rick Santorum, 13% for Newt Gingrich. Let's take a look at the bottom 3 right now. This is the entrance poll results. These are not the official results. 10% for Rick Perry, 6% for Michelle Bachmann, 1% for John Huntsman. But a virtual tie, really. Ron Paul slightly ahead when all of the respondents, all of those people who told us what they were going to do as they were walking into these caucuses, they can always change their minds. It shows a very, very close race right now in Iowa. Ron Paul with a slightly 24%, 23% for Mitt Romney and Santorum. Here are the actual votes coming in with 10% of the precincts now reporting 1 out of 10. 10% are in. Look at how close it is. Ron Paul, 24%. Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum tied virtually at 23%, 13% for Gingrich, 10% Perry, 6% for Michelle Bachmann, 1%. Look at how close it is to the response of the entrance poll. Folks who told us what they were going to do when they were going in. They could have changed their minds, but it's a very, very close race right now. Anderson, we thought it would be close. Potentially, it could be a three-man tie out there, Anderson.
Yeah, it doesn't get much closer than this. All our guys here at the booth have been crunching the numbers. Ari Fleischer, former spokesperson for George W. Bush. You've been crunching the numbers. What do you see?
Here's what I see is driving this and why Ron Paul is running as well as he is. The vote this year is much younger, and it's much more independent than it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Republicans made 86% of the Republican Iowa caucus. This year, they're only 74%. 4 years ago, independents were 13% of the caucus. They've doubled, almost doubled to 24%. Here's why that's important. Ron Paul has taken 48% of the independent votes. His closest opponent there, Romney, with just 16. Among Republicans,
that's
fascinating.
Incredible. That's a huge difference.
Huge win for Ron Paul among independents, and they've almost doubled in turnout. Among Republicans, Santorum is winning. Santorum 27, Romney 25. Here's the other big demographic difference. 4 years ago, those 17 to 29 were 11% of the electorate. This year, they're 15%, and guess who they're voting for? Ron Paul with 52%, Santorum second with 23. Here's the other fascinating piece, though, and it's about Ron Paul's base. Among those who are moderate or liberal, they are voting for Ron Paul, 43%. He's the winner there. Among conservatives, they're voting for Rick Santorum.
But among evangelicals, according to the entrance poll, Ron Paul was winning among evangelicals.
Well, but evangelicals also split. Not all of them are very conservative or conservative. A lot of these independents, though, are the moderate and liberal who are coming into the Republican Party.
Dana Lash from BigJournalism.com, Tea Party activist. What do you see tonight in the numbers?
Well, I've been looking, especially at obviously the top three, and looking at some of the numbers coming in for Ron Paul, and I'm genuinely shocked. Just that the sheer number of independents, and also again that 43% number that are defining themselves as moderate or liberal. Now, there's two ways you can look at this. You can look at this and say, well, this is a candidate that can reach out to independents. This is a candidate that can reach out to those moderates that are really going to be helping the GOP candidate come 2012, well, come this election. Or you can say this candidate's kind of liberal in a lot of their stances. I mean, if you just talk about ending the wars and legalizing pot, you'll get a ton of support. So there's kind of two ways that you can look at this. So we'll continue to see the numbers come in.
I think there's one screaming huge story here tonight, and that is these Republicans just don't want to vote for Mitt Romney. I mean, it's like you're trying to give a dog a pill. They keep spitting it up. Now, they're going to eat the pill because Romney's going to eventually be the nominee, but the signal here, he may, but it's going to be 25%. And it's the same thing he did against same thing he had before, and he's got a weaker field, and they just don't matter where he comes in, they don't want to vote for him. And that's as clear as a bell.
Two numbers I'm looking at, you need 2,286 delegates to win the GOP nomination. You're not going to win it